Listen,
We
you're
do.
not putting 8, 7 girls on an island and none of them are hooking up.
No,
Strength.
wait, screw it. Hold on. No, we're doing spoilers. I can't do this general talking. So,
You know how I feel about Leah.
hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It is the Dons, and I'm here with my friend Ria.
Hi.
Today, we are going to be discussing the Amazon Prime show, The Wild. Essentially, the show is about a group of young girls whose plane crashes, leaving them stranded on a deserted island. The show is kind of described to be equal parts angsty teen drama and survivalist adventure. So let us know down below if you have started watching it, how you're liking it. Give it a rating out of 10 so we could discuss in the comments. What are your thoughts on the show?
I really liked the show. Like a bunch of teens stranded on an island. That's like my favorite.
I went into it blind. I think you literally just texted me saying watch The Wilds on Amazon, and I'm like, okay, I'll get around to it. And I normally don't get around to shows that you tell me
Yeah.
to watch. It took me a long time, but for some reason it just added up that it was exam time, so I needed a distraction.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it. I thought it was nothing that was like brand new, but I think it was a nice take on this genre. Oftentimes we don't see female-centric shows like this.
Men are usually on the island too.
Yeah.
So just to see all women was interesting.
So we're just going to run through the characters and quickly say our thoughts and how we think they were dealt with or handled. What were your thoughts on Fatin, Queen Fatin?
I have her written in my phone as unbothered queen.
Yeah.
With a bunch of hearts next to it because she was really the unbothered queen. Fatin was just
Virgo
like,
sun, Pisces moon.
yeah. She was so unbothered, but I could tell that she was probably smarter in a sense.
Like she was definitely one of my faves. Like I love the like comic relief she brought. Like I will say that her and Leah had the least endearing backstories.
Just going back to Fatin for 1 second, she is literally like she became like this comfort character to all the girls. Like Fatin was comforting the girls the most in the show. Now that I think about it,
And it was because of her level-headedness, because she was so calm and like sane. Like everyone almost took solace in that, being like, okay, Fatin, you're my comfort blanket. Like, you know what I mean? Next we have Leah, our protagonist, our main character.
I really don't know if the writers were trying to like make her likable because they didn't do a good job of it.
When I first started, it was Leah that was doing the voiceovers, right? And I was just like, oh gosh, like she sounds pretentious. She seems like that Tumblr girl. Like there's an era of books that were written that literally sound like Leah.
That's my quote for Leah that I wrote down is, I'm a virgin who drinks dairy milk. I hate that quote. So, she's just like, I'm not like these other girls. I drink dairy.
I like older guys because we connect, and he annotates my books. Like, get over yourself. Yeah.
Like literally.
It was annoying because then they tried giving her this like redeemable character arc of like, you got to get behind her because she's the only one who knows what's up.
I think they gave her that arc to make like to kind of redeem for how annoying she was all season. She woke up in the ocean and she heard the phone.
Oh.
And she went into Jeanette's bag and tried to get her phone, and then she was like, and dropped it to the bottom of the ocean. The second time was the phone call, and she called her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend.
Literally.
That is when I knew I did not like her, because the worst thing, I've always hated when TV shows do this, but it's when you get the opportunity, they come onto the phone and then they just start talking and dissing and all this type of stuff, and you just sit there in silence. I would be like, first of all, shut up. You need to shut up. I need to tell you something, because this is obviously I'm not. And she's over here like, I haven't heard his voice in so long. This is so sad. And I'm like, girl, get over yourself. If she told the girls she did that, she would have been dead from the first day.
Literally. So next we have Toni. So I do think out of all the girls, we got the least of Toni. I don't really remember her presence in the dynamic of everyone outside of Shelby. She's almost written in for Shelby. And like, I really enjoyed her backstory.
That's true.
And I kind of wish we saw her work out her angst, like, you know what I mean? And her anger because of like her being a foster child and kind of like
Mhm.
not really having a place to stay.
But yeah, Toni did deserve to have more like in-depth scenes with other characters.
So next we have Martha. So I know you really enjoyed this character and what they did
Mhm.
with her.
It was like the first time that I've actually seen a show like incorporate like Native American culture into the mix.
We saw some really great moments for her character in
Mhm.
terms of where her backstory bled into being on the island and her overcoming things and growing as a character. So we
Mhm.
saw that with obviously killing the goat and her getting to that part, but also what does that mean for her? What does she need to overcome in order to do that, right? I appreciated what they did. I appreciate
Mhm.
them kind of like incorporating her culture in it so naturally and effortlessly, and it didn't feel like tokenism.
Yeah.
So next up is Dot. This one was one of the better backstories. Like I felt this is very heart-wrenching. She seems most knowledgeable and grounded in terms of
Mhm.
like keeping the girls all together, almost like the mother hen in a way, which
Yeah.
makes sense because from her backstory, she had to grow up the fastest. She's like the most mature, like almost like she had to be the adult in her household, right?
Yeah. Like Dot's first line was yeah, well, I'm not a lesbian. Sorry to disappoint. I just like storage. And I because of her pants, her cargo
Yeah,
pants. And like when she said that, I was just like, I know exactly what character Dot is.
literally.
Quiet. People don't really pay attention to her, but she's really like street.
Really, her life is about survival outside of this island, so she
Mhm.
will know how to survive. So next we have Miss Shelby.
Wait. Before you start, I have to say Shelby's quote.
Yeah.
Shelby's quote is, I do family, I do Jesus, I do pageants. And that was the first thing she said in it. I liked Shelby's story. She was one of my favorites. When all you know is what is taught to you, and now you're stuck on an island and people are being like, you don't have to live like this.
Yeah.
You start having a mental breakdown because it's like, who am I?
Yeah.
it's like it's like a whole journey needs to be done, and we saw that with Shelby, and I like
Yes.
that because,
That
yeah.
she tied her worth too much with the pageants, the religion, the whatever. And it's just like, well, when everything is stripped from you, who are you, Shelby, right?
Yeah.
Homegirl was cutting her hair, like Homegirl was like ripping her hair out. Homegirl was like losing it. Homegirl was like ready to pull out her teeth because it's just like
Sitting on different sides of the island with a bottle of Russian vodka.
literally. I guess now we could go into their relationship, Toni and Shelby. Twitter
um
is eating it up, which is
I
kind of
knew they
shocking to
would.
me
I
because
told you. I told you they would because I just know Stan Twitter very well. You know why it was that amazing? Because
why?
it was enemies to lovers.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And and that is the best shipping trope. When Shelby was like, I'm not saying anything until I see her.
Mhm.
And they immediately assumed that she was talking about Toni. I don't know if Shelby was like playing them, being like, how do you know I would be talking about Toni?
Mhm.
Being like, why is Toni the one that came to mind?
Yeah,
Because you thought I was kissing on your cameras, huh?
literally. And that's
Literally,
why she wrote the note to Leah being like, you were right, because that proved it to her that they were watching us.
yeah.
Not what we think it is.
The same time, Shelby's dealing with her own identity and her own sexuality and everything. I am
Yeah.
so excited for Shelby's character.
So Rachel, Miss 4D, like you called her. I,
Yeah, I did.
I remember being like, she is mean for no reason. I do not like her. Like her and Leah were my least favorites. I'm like, whatever.
Mhm.
But by the end of it, and seeing how much she went through as like a student athlete and like what she was trying to accomplish,
Mhm.
like when you have an ED, like you are irritable. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You are hangry. Plus you're doing sports, like you know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
like it made sense why she had so much anger within her. Like she had so much pressure on her.
Coach said to her about like her body type, that set me off. She said that she was too tall and that she wasn't like built muscular or something.
Mhm.
She said something like that to Rachel, and I was like, why would you say that?
Yeah.
I'm like, why would you say that to a 17-year-old girl?
Yeah.
The way she was acting towards Nora really bothered me.
Yeah. Her and Shelby, got the most from the island.
Yeah.
Like by the end, Rachel was doing a 180 where she was literally healing on the island, which I think it's ironic that Nora, her sister, we'll get into it, kind of set her up knowing.
Mm-hmm.
So like it was almost working for her because like by the end we're seeing Rachel being more open, being more apologetic, understanding what Nora means to her in her life, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Getting back to the water, like getting her period again. Like it was literally like as a character she was like becoming grounded.
Yeah.
So I think the island did the most for her and Shelby. So now we're at Nora, the most irrelevant one.
Ledante went into like this whole downward spiral where he was like, I can't enjoy the scenes anymore because one of them is is a traitor.
Literally. When we get to the end, I'm kind of like, what is her incentive? Is she mad at her sister? Does she want to avenge her boyfriend? Like, you know what I mean? It could be all of those things at once, but like none of them stuck. None of them felt like a strong enough incentive for this to make sense and for her to
Yeah.
follow through the plan the entire time. Like it was like off.
No, yeah, I completely get that. Like there were okay. There were let's compare Nora and Jeanette. So Jeanette saw Leah on the boat and was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. This is crazy. It's the fact that Nora couldn't look at her sister and do the same thing and be like, you know what? I don't want to put you through this. I don't want to do this anymore. This isn't for me. Nora, there were some things that Nora did that was super like evil. Leah saying she had to go to the bathroom or something, and then her following Leah and then leading Leah into a trap and then telling the people that they want her to take Leah out.
Right.
What is
Like,
this?
what is this like undying devotion to this study? That's what I didn't get. Like, I understand her feeling though that her ex-boyfriend technically life was taken at the hands of like toxic masculinity, patriarchy, all that stuff. That's not strong enough to me.
There's a little gap in
Yeah.
between when they get saved and the shark attack that we haven't seen.
And
So
like it would make sense for either Nora to be like, I'm done now. My sister got hurt. You need to rescue us. This is
you
what's
know
happening.
what? That I was gonna say that might be what happened,
Yeah.
to be honest. But then when did Shelby shave her head?
That's the thing. There's like a massive gap, like at least like a few days.
Yeah.
Everyone, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed our little chat. If there is a season 2, we'll be reviewing that and stay tuned for more content.
Bye.